Read that. Am I getting feedback? What? One. Oh, boy. Hello. Does it sound like feedback? Yeah. It does. I'm not quite sure. Hmm. Did that work? This has never happened to me. Does it sound feedback to you guys? Does it sound feedbacky to you? Does it sound like feedback to you? Not exactly sure what this is. Let's see. Hmm. Thank you all for coming here. Thank you so much for your kind statements. I'm trying to get this situated. Not sure why it's giving feedback. Oh, I think I might have 2 studios open at the same time. Okay. If I disconnect, guys, I'm coming right back on. Hello? Can you hear me? Let's see. Are you guys able to hear me? So no feedback. You can just hear me normally. Put a 1 if you can hear me normally. That was strange. Okay, great. I am back, guys. I am back. I am so sorry that the live ended like that the other day. That was, I'm not even sure. Well, I mean, I'm sure what it was, but I've never experienced that. Let me just say that. I've never experienced that. And I had to go into deep prayer and deep contemplation. Initially, I thought it was a anxiety attack, but I found out while I was in deep prayer, I had to get on my face, as they say, prostrate. I had to get on my face and talk to God. And he revealed some things to me that brought a lot of disharmony in my spirit. And I cannot, I will not allow God to be mocked here. I will not. What I'm doing here is of pure intent. It is a noble endeavor. I care about the victims of anything, not just this case, but any victim who wants to get to a place of healing, get to a place of wholeness, get to a place of overcoming. That is what I want. What I will not endorse, what I don't play with, is anybody coming here to use me for their nefarious intentions. When I got deep in my conversation with God, while I do believe these women were the victims of something and may have been a part of those arenas, God has revealed to me that everything that they're saying is not true. And I am disgusted because I don't play about God and I don't play about my words. Anything that I think will be used to disavow the victims, the true actual victims, and come in the way and prevent people from getting true justice, I have to come out and speak against it. I cannot endorse it. I cannot endorse it. And so, first and foremost, thank you for anyone who saw fit to try to assist. It just shows the love of God in you. Trust me, for every dollar sent to them, you will get 100 back for each one. I hate that people think it okay to come here and try to rob God's house, because that's what you do when you steal something. When you accept something that somebody gave you from a pure place, of helping and sincerity and honesty, and you take that in vain, God will strip them. You don't have to do a single thing, or you don't have to worry. Release it to them in the same purity that you gave it to them, and understand that God will redeem and replenish you. I am disgusted. And that's what that whole energy raising up in my spirit was. God would not let me sit still or comfortable. God was bubbling up in my spirit, telling me something was wrong. I couldn't even sit in front of the screen anymore. I literally couldn't talk and get anything. I went straight to my daughter's room. When she looked at me, she jumped up and said, "Mommy, what's wrong?" And I couldn't even talk. I couldn't form words. I literally just started to walk down the hallway in my house, and she ran past me and looked around my room, and she came over to the computer and turned it off for you guys. I don't like what's happening. I don't like what's happening. I went into deep prayer. Let me tell you what a mature and amazing daughter I have. So mature and amazing. In fact, I couldn't even articulate for a little while what was going on with me. My daughter, after she got me calmed down, she got me something to drink, she got me a cold press for my head. She said, "What were you doing, Mommy?" I said, "I was on a live, just talking." She said, "But did something happen? Somebody said something?" I'm like, "I don't know. This thing came over me." She rolled it back from the end of the live, scrolled back a little, didn't feel like she saw, scroll back some more. On her third scroll, I was still relatively okay. And she literally said, we sat down and watched it. And she said, "There it is right there. That's when it started happening, Mommy." And so I rolled it back a little again to scrutinize what was going on, what was being said. And it was when the 91st Psalm, I put on the screen, somebody had posted the 91st Psalm. And there was an angel, and I think it had a ribbon attached to it. My grandmother's favorite scripture, 91st Psalm, 91st and 121st. And she always talks about God's protection, the purity, I felt my grandmother's spirit overwhelm me. When my grandmother shows up, it's because something is wrong. When my grandmother, God was with me too, but when my grandmother's spirit shows, something is wrong. And then this harmony bubbled up inside of me, and I just couldn't shake it. I was trying to calm myself down. I was trying to correct my breathing, but I will not allow God's word to be mocked. I will not endorse anything that feels impure. And something, as the old people say, something in the milk ain't clean. You will not use me. I had to tell, my daughter, we started looking at comments and and then people were saying like, "Oh, I wish the host would," people that are new to my channel that don't know me well. And I get it. People will be new. Everybody is not going to be someone who has subscribed and been here steady. One guy's like, "Oh, I unsubscribed because the host, you defending Gene Deal." All of my regulars, come on now. I said, "Clearly, sir, you don't know me and you've never seen another video on my channel. Anybody who knows me knows I can't stand Gene Deal. I call him 2 truths and 7 lies. That's his name. I've had posted on my TikTok for over a year. Gene Deal is a flat out liar. I don't like him. You come here to me while I'm talking to a young lady about how she can heal and move forward with life and helping her reclaim her time, and accuse me of defending Gene Deal? Really? Then clearly, if my words sound to you like defensive Gene Deal, you don't know words, at least not these English ones. I would never defend him because I find him to be a total liar and have a nefarious agenda. I would never defend him. They came here saying, "I wish you would be quiet so she can speak." First of all, I am not the train wreck. There's a lot of content creators that love the salaciousness. They love the agenda. They love the train wreck, the car wreck. When you're on the highway, you see a car accident and the traffic just slows up for miles and miles because everybody has to stop and oogle. Like, mind you, they're not doing anything to help. They can't do anything to help, and they're in the way of help getting to the car accident, but they don't care. They have a right to stop because they want to see the carnage. They want to see the unalive. They want to see the, I even had a lady come in and say, stop it with the stupid words, code words, just say, I said, it's YouTube algorithm. If we just say those words, you won't see a video. We'll be struck. I said, please acquaint yourself with what we're dealing with here. I sound like a logical woman. I don't just make up words. I never even talk baby talk to my kids. I never even did goo goo gaga boo boo boo. No. I spoke to them like, so you comprehend what I'm saying to you, correct? Repeat what you understand. That's how I talk to children. For we're not raising children, we are raising adults. They are merely passing through childhood to get there. Children learn by mirror play or by copying what they see. What do I look like talking to a baby in unintelligible words so that when they mock it, they are speaking unintelligible words? And some of you wonder why your kids have such a delayed speech pattern. I don't do that. It's just not in me. First and foremost, with this channel, understand that what I'm trying to do here is help people. That's why when people come on this channel, you don't see me overwhelmed with this whole narrative of, oh, and what did he say then? And what did they hit you? What they hit you with? I don't do all of that here. I come to give them their voice back. Who are you? What did you want to be when you were a child? What made you happy? Who had an impact on your life positively? Who had an impact on your life negatively? What do you think was a moment in your life that led you off the rails? How can we get back on? I'm solution oriented and solution based. Anybody that knows me knows that. I'm solution based. Okay, so we are here. How do we get to a better place? You cannot get to a place of correction and viability in everyday normalcy or typically functioning existence, get back to a place of homeostasis without healing. And it is not until you see yourself as a woman, or a man, whoever I'm speaking with, however I'm speaking, and you forgive yourself and you give yourself the grace and mercy to understand you did not deserve what was done to you. What was done to you is the responsibility of the people who committed those acts against you. That is what I'm trying to provide here. A platform for people to express themselves and see themselves and understand they are worthy. God did not tell me those women didn't go through anything. They absolutely went through some stuff. But do I believe it is exactly what was being said? And no. I feel like I would be nice if I said some hyperbole was added to their conversations. But at this juncture, I feel like some flat out lies and mistruth were added. Honestly, I have to be honest. That is what God revealed to me. And I will not sit here and be played with. I will not put a stamp of endorsement on somebody that I find to be a liar. That's not my forte. It's not my forte. I won't be a part of it. I won't be a part of it. And while like I said, I didn't bring either of them, and I'm speaking about Misha and ADRIA, I didn't bring either of them on under the premise of, so tell us what happened while you were captured or with these people. That has never been my agenda. That I don't live in that. That's not my zip code or my address. My address is, I heard what happened to you. How do we move forward? How do we get you back to a place where you see yourself, you forgive yourself, you can receive this love that's being given to you, and you can become whole again? That's my zip code, my address, state, everything. And that little 4-digit code they add next to your zip code after the fact. That's where I exist. So all this, I'm not with it. Like, I don't, God is not going to be mocked here. He means too much to me. God means way too much for me to let my platform be used for foolishness. I will not endorse anything. I will not. Is my sound cutting in and out now? Huh? Maybe these comments are, let me see. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Esmeralda. I appreciate that. That was God taking over. Thank you so much, guys. And I'm going to call out the names. The chat is running so, I think it was behind. The chat is running so fast. It's hard for me to look at everything and call out the names. Thank you. And first and foremost, I should have opened with welcome to the Dopest Nerd channel. Thank you so much for being here. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend your time, your Saturday afternoon here with us. And I appreciate that. I came to you with 2 videos of 2 women that presented themselves out in the YouTube landscape as women that were victimized and endured abuse at the hands of the dealer and other people connected to his cabal. I saw those things just like you guys saw those things. And for me, I'm always wanting to extend a hand, especially to, people that find it hard to see themselves and find it hard to overcome when they get stuck and stagnant in just a recitation of, and here's the thing, I don't stop anybody from having their say. In fact, my memoir will be called Having My Say. My talk radio show that I had in Atlanta for years was Having My Say. I believe in having your say. I believe in anyone having a recitation of what occurred, and there's no limit to it. If you're telling the story for 5 minutes, 5 weeks, 5 years, 5 decades, I don't have a problem with that. And I'm here to listen if you need a listening ear. But what I will not do, what I will not participate in, what I will not allow is anyone to come here and take my kindness for weakness, because there's not a mother thing that's weak about me. The spirit of discernment is huge in me. And that is how that live descended into me having the inability to talk, an inability to cope. I had just this eruption of feelings and energy and emotions in my body. I could not overcome it. I couldn't get over it. And that was God's presence. And my grandmother, I'm certain of it, telling me, hold on, watch out. It was very triggering. Not the least of which is I am a survivor. I cannot tolerate anybody coming here to make a mockery of my assistance and my help. I won't ever permit any time where people are using my words, misappropriating my words, my sentiment. I don't play with that. If somebody thinks they're going to come into an arena and take advantage of me, use my words and be like, oh, here's what she really meant, something is wrong with you. And I won't tolerate it. And by no means am I perfect. Am I above reproach? If there's ever a time where while you join me in my channel or you see me on someone else's platform, if there's ever a time where I say something that you think is not consistent with who I am or consistent with what you know to be the truth, honey, get to that typing. Anybody who would falsely accuse me of defending Gene Deal, you do not know me at all. You don't know me at all. I think he is a scallywag, a scoundrel, a liar of epidemic proportion, and he will stop at nothing to attempt to absolve himself from all of the things he saw, witnessed, participated in, and all of that. I don't trust him. I can prove that he's a liar. Trust me. Trust me. When I sat back for 25 years, amassing information, proof, and all of that, and telling my story, I amassed information on a lot of people, especially those like Gene Deal, who threw himself out into the lexicon because he wanted attention or he was angry and he was commiserating. Frankly, I think he's a double agent. The contradictions in his statements are jarring. And I have proof of it. Some people will be like, oh, come on, sis, Gene's nice. Really? He's nice based on your limited understanding and knowledge of this case and other things. He's nice on your limited, and no disrespect to anybody anywhere else in the world, but you in Indiana can't tell me nothing about what he was doing in New York. I was there. He is trying to set a precedence by which he creates enough reasonable doubt about his interactions and his presence at things. First and foremost, I used to work for New York State, the government of New York, as did my sister, my grandmother, my mother, and many of you people. My mother retired from the state government for almost 50 years of service. Let me tell you something about New York State government, working for them. Far more important than whatever division of New York State you work for and what they've hired you to do is time and attendance. Okay? They could hire you to be a chemist, mixing the most infinite compounds, or they could hire you to be the guy who cleaned the toilets. Let me tell you about both of those things. One thing about both of those things. New York State government is obsessed with time and attendance. Okay? It is paramount to whatever you were hired to do. I need to know how this man was an active probation officer for New York State, and everywhere that every single criminal act happened in hip hop, every single party. He got stories about, I was at this, I was at the Peterson, I was here, I was there. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo much? You everywhere. How'd you have time? You retired as a probation officer? You collect a pension? Well, how did you do all these things and were at every single situation and you was actively a probation officer? When did you probate people's sentences? When? Something in the milk ain't clean. Smell federal agency to me. I don't trust it. It smells like a cover story. You collect a pension, but you was away so much. You was in every state at every show. Oh, let me tell you what happened after the show. We had did this, and I seen a guy in a blue suit, and he was tap dancing and carrying a monkey and jiggling a feather. And what? How? I worked for New York State, and trust me, I'm not the biggest on time and attention. That's why I work for myself. Me and them was always in problems about time and attendance. Time and attendance. I promise you that. I was so creative with I would walk into office and be like, so listen, the 8 hours personal time that I'm going to get for next month, I need to use that now. They'd be like, who do you think you are walking in here? We don't do that. We're not doing that. They always had why do you think you could just manipulate time and attendance like that? I said, I'm not manipulating time and attendance, but I have other things that I'm doing, and it doesn't necessarily comport with the structured environment that you guys have around here. We had a lady named Alice. She was from India. Love Alice. Alice, if you're watching, God bless you. Alice was about that grind. Her and her husband had plans, and baby, Alice would do we had mandated overtime. That's why I don't understand how he was everywhere. New York State has mandated overtime, and you cannot refuse. If you do, you'll get struck and you will be on suspension. You will be on suspension. Alice would go to different units in the building and be like, I'll do your time. I'll do your overtime for you. Alice used to, she was an overtime bandit. I know her checks was guap, every check. She would work for everybody. It was her and a whole little group of Indian ladies. You could look for them. They say, oh, you got mandated overtime. I've been mandated when New York had a massive snowstorm and the whole city was frozen over. And I had children at the daycare. I had to get somebody else to go get them. I was mandated. I couldn't step off their property if I wanted to still have a career with the state. But this ninja gene everywhere. Literally in the Roman Colosseum, at the John Wilkes Booth assassination of Lincoln, in Carthage, Mesopotamia, everywhere. Nigeria, he everywhere. How? Ask yourself that. With every story, swearing he know the facts of everything. I seen the check for Tupac's death, unaliving. I seen the check for Biggie. He's seen everything. How? I don't trust him. So to come to my page and accuse me of defending him, you don't know me. Perhaps get to know me. Perhaps go back and watch some of my other videos. I've done a video on the unaliving of people at Tuskegee University because I don't like people to be victimized. They were having their normal homecoming as they do every year. And somebody thought, here's a good time to go and ruin lives. I did a video about the director of the EPA in Georgia that was testifying at a hearing in the Capitol about how this company, with their paltry record of environmental responsibility, had this biolab, chemical spill that injured a whole bunch of people, made a bunch of people sick. After this man, while he was testifying, he kept grabbing his collar. He was uncomfortable. He literally got up, walked out after his testimony, and fell to his unaliving in the hallway. That's how bad the EPA thing was. I've done lots of stories. I've done that Fulton County is corrupt. Go look at my videos, as well as a whole other things. Get to know me before you come here and disrespect me. The narrator. One person said, the narrator gets on my nerves. She should shut up and let her talk. Excuse me. The only way you would hear a particular person's story is that someone saw fit to have a channel. I'm not anybody's narrator. I am a channel host who brings people on because I want to help them in their faith walk and their journey towards healing. You got a problem hearing my voice? Perhaps this is not the place for you. Good luck on your journey down the YouTube streets. I'm sure there's something that will suit your taste and your liking. Bye now. I don't want to hold anyone hostage here. People complain, oh, she's always talking about God. Yeah, you got a problem with that? I happen to know of a bunch of channels personally that will serve the needs that you're looking for. They are the train wreck that you're looking for. No disrespect to them. They eating way bigger than me. Why are you here? I don't understand this narrative of, oh, I can't stand this and I can't stand that. No one is chaining you to your computer or your phone screen to stay here. Kick rocks down the YouTube highway. There's lots out there for you. I don't want to delay your gratification. Be gone now. But when you hear, show respect. We don't do disrespect here. We don't. People that are in my chat are friends now. People in my chat have created other subgroups and they interact regularly. Trust me, I know for a fact, and they interact with me. We're grown, we're adults. We've survived the 80s. Those of you who are older and survived the 70s. We survived the 1980s in New York was a war zone. Oh, really? Hold on one second. I'm getting messages. I should perhaps turn my phone on silent too, but I'm getting messages. Is Jaguar here in the chat? Hold on. Shout out to Maggie. Oh, shout out to Maggie, the Black Owl. You are strength, light, and love. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hold on. The chat will run sometimes and then sometimes it'll stop. Yes, Tasha T, I absolutely said it. I said I need to get on my face because here's the deal. I am not above saying, hey, I stand corrected. I said that on the chat too. I stand corrected and I don't have a problem pivoting. I'm not one of those people that know something ain't right and they double down because they don't want to look like they wrong. Wrong is not a problem for me. Saying that you were wrong about something is helping you be right about it. I don't have a problem for that. Listen, I have a lot. I do not believe it. God dealt with me. I was so overcome. I could not sit still. My countenance was completely disrupted. You know me. I am articulate, sharp, concise, say what I got to say. I couldn't stop crying, and this energy was bubbling up inside of me. It was bizarre. I don't like it, and I won't be used by anybody. I will not be used. I will not be used. Let the chips fall where they may. Let me put the link in the chat. Let the chips fall where they may. If I'm wrong, I will come back and stand corrected for that. But baby, I do not believe it. God don't play with me. God don't play with me. When they say things like you need this, like you need a hole in your head, I got that hole in my head. I got it. God doesn't play with me. And I certainly don't play with God. I do not play with God. I feel like nefarious actions are taking place. And God's word won't be mocked here on my channel. I dropped the link in the chat. I'm still scrolling down the thing. Hold on. Why is this thing not moving? If that were true, how do you explain Warren Buffett still running this show at 95? What do you mean? I'm not sure what that means. If what were true, how do we explain Warren Buffett still running his show at 95? Clearly, there was a precursor to this statement, and I'm not exactly sure what it is. Hey, boo. We have Jaguar Wright on the show with us. Hey, Sid.
I called you from my exclusive number and I left a prayer on your voicemail.
Oh, I see it. I didn't even see it before.
Before you, I figured you were busy. I said the prayer, I said the words. And then I said, you know what, I'm going to come over to the live.
Mhm.
And I'm glad that I did because
Mhm.
I need to stop you. Do I pray in Yeshua's name? Do not defend yourself. You have done nothing wrong. There is a plot on YouTube to try to confuse the narratives,
I
to
believe that.
take away the voice of those who are really standing up for what is good. I got to the bottom of it last night, and then I was going to go live last night, but then
Mhm.
I stopped and I waited and I started reading the disinformation trail, and I got confirmation on all things. Now, I need to say this to you, and I need to say this to everybody listening.
Talk to me.
There are content creators that have been working together behind the scenes who were jealous that the real ones were starting to get traction in the algorithm. So their idea was to get their hands on a real witness and begin to find ways to attach them to the real ones to discredit and confuse the audiences.
Oh,
Now,
I'm
what I find interesting, though, wait a minute, sis. What I find most interesting is that these content creators have been silently representing themselves as the managers for these young women, and I'm speaking of ADRIA and Misha.
who's the managers?
That I have to tell you offline because I'm about to go live about it and I'm going to pop these fools. But I'm going to say this one name. Choke no joke. You should be ashamed of yourself.
What's been going on? I haven't heard anything.
Choke has been working with another content creator behind the scenes based out of Florida. They cooked up this concoction together to come after you, me, Gene, and anybody else telling the truth and try to find a way to attach fake stories to us and to get us going at each other.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. I know people. I look at the YouTube landscape,
Oh
and I
no, I'm not doing too much, sweetheart. I know exactly what I am talking about and what I am not going to let y'all do. No, because see, I've been down this road with these troll people. And when you have someone calling someone their manager, I've never worked with a manager that hasn't required a percentage. See, I've never worked with a manager that hasn't gotten a percentage.
I mean, by definition of the title, it means that they are providing representation and for which they'll be compensated by. So
Exactly. So I want you to think about this.
Yeah, I have to also go with what God I got on my
Oh, you
face.
definitely have to go with what God is telling you.
Laid
And I
flat.
believe these girls are victims. I
That's what I
also
said.
believe they're being taken advantage of. This is re-victimization.
So,
And that's why I wanted to come over here, Natanya,
I
and have
appreciate
this conversation with you on the Sabbath, because this is the day to tell the truth and
that is
shame the devil. I just got finished doing battle on one of those disinformation channels with a true live witch who just admitted she was a witch, said that she was talking to my dead son, and said that I was the one that was running these women and that this was all my plot to bring Adria and Misha. Where? Then
who said
they started bringing up your name in the chat. And
me
my mod, the lounge, is in the chat.
bringing me up for what though?
Yeah, Adria's been charging $1,000 for interviews.
So here's the thing.
And she's been asking for 30 to 40% of the monetized value of the video.
So here's my thing. I'm not mad at any victim, any witness, any person who wants to speak for speaking. I want them to speak.
So
I
do
the
I.
premise of my existence is having my say, and nobody can tell me to shut up. As much as I revere, honor, and respect my mama can't shut me up. She's been trying for 54 years. She can't.
They're
Only
using these
person that can
girls.
shut me up.
They are using these girls, Natanya. They're using these girls.
Listen, I
This
don't doubt.
is re-victimization.
I don't doubt
Having that girl,
going on.
having that, her Cash App tag is She Diddy.
Who
Adria.
it is?
That's her Cash App tag.
It was like
She
Sherry or
Diddy.
something. Her cash app was Sherry.
No, she's changed it. She got a picture on her ID on the card. It
What?
literally says She Diddy.
On my video, it said something like Sherry with some
I
number.
know that's what it was. She changed it.
Yeah, I don't. Here's my thing. I sat. I not sat. I sat with God, but I got on my face. That
Those
you
girls
go
are
prostrate,
victims.
you lay flat, and that's what I said. God did not tell me they weren't victims. He absolutely said they absolutely were victimized in some kind of way. But
They
here's
are being manipulated, and
here's
they are being the simple fact that they
what
put
I
a
know.
witch on her. Do you know that witch has a video up right now
Here's what
on
I
her
know.
channel? She's promoting it. Do you hear me?
But here's
She's
what I know.
promoting it,
Yeah. What I
exposing these girls as liars. It's terrible what she's doing.
Well, here's what I know. Here's what I know. I don't know who the lady is. I'm trying to figure out who it is. Somebody, you sent me a text and let me know who she is. However, what I
I
do know,
won't. I will not speak her name.
well,
She is a witch.
don't speak it, but somewhere direct me to it. But
I will. I'll show you the video. It's terrible. She
here's what
she
I know.
filmed those women without them knowing she was filming them, and then she broadcasted it
But
and
here's what
made fun of them and
I have to
mocked them.
go by also what God told me. And what God told me in no uncertain terms is yes, they were victims. That's how I started the video. I said, while I know they were victimized, and I wrote in my description, I know that they were victimized. I know they went through some stuff. But what I do know is their tail started to grow. I don't know why, when, who told them to do it, or what. I know
It's
what.
the content creator that is managing them and
Well,
asking for $1,000 an interview, and
I,
the 30% of the gross of the AdSense check. This content creator is re-victimizing these women, because if
I hear
people
that they're allowing them.
decide to, oh my God, if people decide to turn on them, Natanya, they are going to be vicious and they
And
are
here's
going
the
to
deal.
use them for
I believe
content.
that. I believe that. But here's one thing that I know: if something poses, there was no explanation for what happened to me at the end of the video, except for the fact that God jumped in me and was like, I need you, disc boiling up something inside of me. I
They're
could not.
trying to, and they're trying to discredit the power of that moment, which is why when I came over here, Natanya, did I talk about any of the stuff? Did I
Right.
talk about any of the video? The only thing I wanted to talk about is let them know we know that you are victims. We know that you have been hurt. Be
I know they
grateful you are alive. Give grace and glory and mercy to God. That
And
is why I have not
now that
reached
they're
out
in a
to these women.
But here's the thing, now that they're in a position of having the love on my videos, I don't even delve into the story because that's my premise here. There are so many other content creators that tell the salacious side. I'm not interested in any of that. I'm interested in helping them see themselves as whole, healed, healthy, recognize that they have love, recognize that people don't judge them negatively and don't, cast aspersions on them so that they can see themselves as whole, so that they can then come to this and say, you know what, wow, people do support me. Let me look at myself in the mirror again. Let me make some moves to move toward. My whole thing is centered on them having love, light, comfort, care, moving towards a future.
I
And when you
think you know I feel the same way,
Absolutely,
which
but
is
when you get to
why
you can't let people manipulate you. And I would not dare, especially in my platform where I espouse God to the nth degree. Why would you infuse any part of your story or any part of it with a lie? I don't play with God. One thing
I
I
know
don't
you
play
don't.
with is God. I'm too afraid. I'm too afraid of what will happen. And I know God giveth and God take it away. God will
I'm
bless
busting this guy out today. I'm
you and
busting this
bless you.
guy out today. I'm not letting him go another day. He is revictimizing these women. He is putting them in a bad position because I'm telling you, when they turn on you, on especially on YouTube, they are vicious. And that could put any of these women into a serious state of depression and possibly want them to do self-harm. Like, these people are
And
vicious. They will
that's
attack them. I do not want that to happen. What needs to happen is these vulture content creators need to stop playing with real people's lives.
Well, here's the main thing that needs to happen. I need them, the women, to step forward and say, "Here is my unmitigated, irrefutable proof." And they don't have to give us all the proof. I am blah, blah, blah. This has happened to me. I want to overcome it. I want to move to a place of peace. I want to move on my faith walk. I want to move through my journey. I want to be healed of this so I can move on to my future, what God has in store for me. And that's the
Amen.
thing I laid my platform out
I
for
say.
them to be able to do. I don't want no salacious list. I had people in my comments like, the narrator needs to shut up so they can tell their story. Stop looking for train wrecks over here. We don't do train wrecks here. This ain't train wrecks central. This is peace and growth, prosperity, God's anointing. See the light, sis. Feel this love. I don't, and they both said out of their own mouths, I haven't done not any platform where everybody was so positive and loved me. I don't
Mm.
want to feel like I am making a mockery of people that have come to my channel to feel used. I won't participate. I won't participate. In fact, when there was a point where her Cash App wouldn't take another deposit, people were like, "Your Cash App's not working. Your Cash App's not working." And I was like, "What? What? What's going on?" Now I know Cash App did that to me before. Somebody sent me 2 times. Somebody sent me something, and Cash App said we refunded it for your protection. So I'm wondering, like, is it a weird person's Cash App? Do they see fraud with this Cash App? Whatever. I even had to tell Cash App, stay out my business and theirs. You are a payment processor, a money transfer station. That's it. Don't get in my business. If someone sends me something, you let it come through. We went back and forth, but they got to a point where they couldn't receive another dollar. Listen, I know the way my God works. I know the way my God works.
I say.
When there was a time where she couldn't get anything, and people were like, "Well, does she have Venmo?" I had a Venmo from 3 years ago that I never used. I had to re-download it to my phone. People have when I looked at it just now, because I don't have notifications on it, people sent money. I'm sending those people their money back. I am not going to participate in anything that doesn't resonate with my spirit and feel like it is of God. I don't like that anybody is using them. But what I say is, now that you have gotten a modicum of freedom and you are on the right track, do not allow yourself to be used. Do not allow God to be mocked, because he don't bless no mess. Down to the most basic foundation. We hear from, Big Mama that lived down the lane, that's so-and-so's auntie. She may not be well versed in everything, but one thing she know is she gonna say, now watch out, baby. God don't bless no mess. I
At
will
all.
a platform for which mess is spewed for God to have to strike me. I won't. And I don't care what nobody in YouTube sphere say. The God I serve, baby, they ain't got nothing on him. Like I remember when I went to my grandmother after I got shot, and I really like got in her bed and nestled my head in her bosom and just sought her covering. And I said, "But grandma, why are they saying mean things about me?" And she said, "But wait, who is you? They talked about Jesus. They beat Jesus. They beat him, they whip him, they do all kind of
Mm.
things, and they besmirch his name. You think you anything? Be happy they speaking about you. If Jesus could take it, who are you to not?" And I had to get 10 toes down and say, "Yo, really, check yourself, girl. Like, don't worry about the fray and don't worry about what nobody got to say." And my grandmother freed me that day. And trust me, when I was a kid, I didn't care what nobody said. But when I was fragile and vulnerable, it got to me. It felt like people were re-victimizing me. After my grandmother freed me from that, ain't nobody on YouTube could say nothing about me that I care. I'll match them toe to toe. I will invite them on my channel and go toe to toe with them because I ain't scared of that. I ain't scared of that. I don't live for the specter of the camera and YouTube and people assuaging me. My mods can tell you. I just had a conversation with them before we came live. I told them, listen, there's going to be people in the comments with spicy comments. Let them be. I believe in having my say. Mods, y'all in here. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Write in and verify what I said. I said, let them have their say. I said, if they're flat out evil and they're targeting someone, then put them out. But if they're spicy or whatever and they having their say, that's fine. I said, if they come off evil the first time, put them in a timeout. After that, when they get out of the timeout, if they come back and they're still being shady, then boot them from the room. But a spicy comment, I don't care. I said I could take criticism, and I don't need a platform by which everybody is stroking my ego and my back and saying, we like you, nice, nice. I don't care if a dissenting comment is in the comments. Let them be. It's reflective
Wow.
of real life. It's reflective. I don't anesthetize my chat. I don't believe in that. Everybody's not going to agree with me, nor do I seek that or want it. I don't need a
Nat-
love fest where everybody,
Natanya,
your friend. Mm-hmm.
I just want to address something very quickly.
Absolutely.
Because with you speaking about the comments, I'm sitting here looking at them on my big screen, and it's just, I'm reading what people are saying. And someone just said that you talking to me is discrediting you. And if you feel that way,
They can say what
I
they.
will drop down right now and I will never come back to this
I don't
channel
care what
again,
they say. I don't care what
because the
they
last thing
say.
that I want to do is discredit this woman. I have been fighting and advocating for the credit of this woman for over a decade. I was talking about this woman when no one else was.
Absolutely. 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 And nobody can tell me nothing about you. And you and I have talked, and I told you that myself. If
I just
somebody
wanted to come over here to tell you, do not defend yourself because you've done nothing wrong. And I want to make sure that you and I can find a way to help cover these girls in God's love, because we both know that they are victims. They have been victimized, and I believe they are being re victimized again. I believe they are being used to do harm on this app to create confusion and terror. I believe that they are still being held hostage by lies. And you and I have a different vision. We have a
absolutely.
different plan. And I wanted to come over here because I'm going to be going live later. I'm not going to go live until after you're done,
And I'm
because
not.
I've
I
asked everybody. But if you can come by, that would be great,
will. I absolutely.
because I am going to uncover this bad actor and his cohorts in the name of Yeshua. And we are going to make sure that these girls get the support that they actually need for what they actually need. But the second that they start having a witch set them up to ambush them and then embarrass them and shame them and turn it into content, that I have a problem with, because that woman is a witch. She is not a believer of God. She praises Dionysus. She is a devil worshiper.
And I don't. I gotta.
And the fact that they would have those women sit with that kind of evil It is to take away the very blessings that we sat here on this channel, all as sisters, and cried and brought to them,
Absolutely.
to bring God to them. And they bring her to a devil worshiping witch. And she sat there and she recorded them, and they said things they should not have said. And then she sat there and made jokes about it and laughed and scorned and mocked them, so all of the rest of these weirdo content creators can
And
go
here's
after
the thing,
these women.
I
I
don't
will not
endorse,
have it.
I don't endorse that either. Because like I said from the start of this video, I said, I know God revealed to me, yes, they were victimized. They were at some of these scenes, they were victimized, they were a part of these things. My issue is anybody, I don't, my mother used to always say, if your story is the truth, don't add nothing to it. You don't need to. The truth don't need no kickstand to lean on. The
At
truth is
all.
just the truth. Don't add, don't embellish, don't use hyperbole, don't do any of that stuff. Just stand on your truth. When you put extra junk in it, that's when it gets muddy. That's when the water is muddied. And I want people to know, once you start getting people that tell you, I love you, people that are supporting you in a way that you've never felt. You cannot victimize the people who are loving you and sending you blessings by adding hyperbole, because you interact with someone who makes you feel like you have to be gargantuan, or you have to be, this extra mockery of I always tell people, do not be a caricature of yourself. Do not be performative. Just do you.
Just be yourself.
Exactly.
Can
I,
I tell you when I knew we were
mhm.
going to end up here, sis?
Tell me,
It was right here on your channel with Adria.
at what point?
Do you remember right before I dropped down
Mhm.
and we were having full praise?
Yep.
And she said, I want to ask the both of you ladies something. What made y'all want to believe in me?
Mm,
You remember?
I do.
And then that's when I told her I knew she wasn't lying about Steed, because I knew who Steed was.
Mhm. I
And
do.
then she asked you. But when she asked, it was almost as if she was trying to say, do you really believe me?
Yeah. I remember, because she said, when was the first time you experienced me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I,
I'm telling you, when that moment, when I dropped down, I said, something, that there's something there. But I've talked to about 8 different content creators, so I feel very confident
mhm.
with coming forward with what I found. And I am telling you, once I expose what I have put together, I want everyone to hold this content creator responsible for what he's trying to do to these women, because I am telling you, they have already been disappointed beyond disappointment. They have already hit their bottom. This could send them through the bottom.
And here's the deal. Perhaps they need to then sit down and peace be still, because God will command that from us as well. God will command that from us. There's been times where I was ready to come. I got a couple of thumbnails already ready that I was going to come live with, and God told me, peace be still. And so I had to just,
Listen to me.
oh,
I no, I'm sorry. There's somebody here and I know them. And they said she said this and she said that.
cool.
Did y'all pay attention to what she said when she was being ambushed by the that witch? She said she came to her to help her get her memories together. If she was clear about everything she's been saying, why would she need to go to a witch to help her get her memories together?
And here's the deal. I know some people have, there's a part of psychology we learn where people suppress. Suppressive behavior and suppressive memories is a protection for your own brain. It's how the brain controls their ability to function typically every day, as opposed to allowing this thing to fester. It's like a Pandora's box where people close memories and things away and shove it to the back so that they can function typically. That happens. So a lot of times people who are suppressed, or their development is arrested, they seek coverage from people that look like they know better, people that sound like they know more. They're not exactly sure where to turn. Oftentimes, they've been exposed to so many people who were supposed to be pillars in the community
Mm-hmm.
that they that were participated in their abuse, and now that when they come out to mainstream society, they don't know who to trust. That is
At all.
logical. That is totally fair and logical. Here's my thing. Once I talk to you and I say to you, listen, I believe you. I can feel in my gut. I trust my gut. People who are not aware, you need to learn that that's old sage, hey, trust your gut. Or when you're schooling
Megan,
and when you get um goosebumps,
hold on one
the
second. I
brain
need
and
to
your
talk to
gut
you.
are one. The microbiome in your gut and
Hold
your
on a
brain
second. We're
are
live.
one. That
Can
is
I
your
put you
second
on
brain.
speakerphone?
And trust me, when God is trying to
Okay.
send you a message, that's why I said to Courtney, brother, if you don't feel it in your gut and it don't sound like what your mama and your big mama used to say, look to the left and look to the right and be weary and be careful who you're talking to and what they're telling you or pushing you to do.
Natanya,
Brain. Yes, baby.
I hate to interrupt you, but I have someone on the phone real quick.
All right.
Someone that I wanted to introduce you to because she's going to be working with us on that little project we got going.
Okay.
Dr. Megan McGlover, I want to introduce you to Natanya Rubin, survivor of the nightclub shooting at Club New York with Diddy and J-Lo.
Greetings,
Oh
greetings,
my goodness.
greetings. How
Very,
are
very nice to meet you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Likewise.
Yes, yes. Wow. Wow. Incredible, incredible.
I'm writing the foreword this weekend. I plan to have you a rough draft by Monday morning.
Oh,
Well, no,
fantastic.
because Natanya, she has a new book coming out. It's called And Tell the Truth. And she's blessed me with the ability to write the foreword for the book. Her first book is called Stop Lying. It's amazing.
Yes.
Wow.
And so I was going to invite you, Dr. Megan McGlover, to come and sit with me on this panel because there's something going on with the new Diddy victims that
My book,
they're.
no, a shot in the dark. A shot in the dark.
Oh yeah, and Natanya's book is A Shot in the Dark. This is going to be great. Maybe we could have a little Q&A about the books
Sounds
during the live. Would you be able to come to the live this evening, early evening?
Oh, right now?
No, in about 2 hours.
In about 2 hours. Yes, I can come, but I can only stay for about 30 to 40 minutes because
That's
I have
perfect.
another.
Can you lead it off?
Okay.
I'd like to
What is.
lead it off with you today. I want to discuss with you. So, these two new women that came out, the Diddy victims, talking about the gross physical essay and the injustice, the ADRIA and the Misha. They done now found that witch with all the moles all over her face, the governess, has now ambushed them into a private conversation, which of course wasn't private. She recorded it, put it up, saying they're liars. And I also happen to know that there is a content creator that is managing them and collecting percentages. This is terrible because these
Yeah,
girls
wow.
have
Wow.
definitely been victimized. Me and Natanya both feel the same, but now they're being set up to look like they're con artists. They even talked this girl into changing her Cash App ID to She Diddy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I would really
So,
like if you
what.
could help us like sort through some of this because I would really like to have an actual professional who specializes in abuse in our community, and not only that, what lying has done to our community overall. So because people are, we're talking about the psychological aspects of all of this, and I think it would only be responsible for us to have someone that specializes in this conversation and the damage and the re-victimization that's happening, because even if they're not being completely honest about all of the details, something has happened to them and they are going to be vilified as scam artists when the truth is it's someone else that's running them.
Mm,
And here's the thing.
okay, so we want to. I'm sorry.
Here's
Oh,
here's the I'm sorry to cut your wisdom, but for my channel, what I do is I never go into the salaciousness of what they've endured because I already know that there's a bunch of channels that feature that, and that's not what I want here. I come to anything like this through a vein of healing, of receiving love, of finding your light, of forgiving yourself, of moving forward. I'm always on solution based trajectory and not wallowing in what occurred. Not, and I'm never telling them don't say what happened, but on my channel, my focus is healing and the journey of healing, seeing yourself, understanding that you're not hated, understanding that there are people who are willing to hear you out and love you and support you so that they can feel a sense of value to move forward in their life and not be stuck. And so that's what I did. For me, I never want anybody to come here. I'm very spiritual. I am centered on God. I never want anybody to come here and lie to me or take me for granted or take advantage of me. And anything that resonates in a space that feels like that, I have to put a pause on it. I have to. And I want people to understand when someone tells you, when you've walked your whole journey through post-victimization, feeling like nobody cares, and then somebody who's a stranger comes and embraces you and says, not only do I care, but I'm here to support you, I need you to take
Misha is in the chat.
granted, to never take that for granted. I need you to see that and understand that that is God is handing you an olive branch to someone, to another world, a group of people that can help you, support you, and all of that. I don't want to be anywhere where anybody thinks they're using me or taking me for granted. I can't participate. I cannot.
I just want to acknowledge that Misha is in the chat.
I'm still on.
Please, if you do not, you can have your feelings, but please respect this woman. She's in the chat.
Now listen, in my chat, you guys know I don't play that. My mods are in here. If
Who
anybody
is Misha?
hear this,
Misha is the victim that they're now accusing to be a liar, the woman that was just ambushed by that witch.
Who's the witch? Can you say her name or can you
She
give me
goes
a
by
hint?
the governess. The name of her channel is A Walk with the Ancestors. She's the one. You remember I was telling you about the one that did the video about putting a spell on me with the cow's tongue and the mustard seed, and she was working with my second
Yes.
husband who tried to her. That
all that,
crazy person.
we rebuke all of that. We rebuke
We
all that.
rebuke all of that.
I,
And this is who no, but they tricked her into sitting with this witch, and she secretly recorded them, and she inflamed everything that she could, and now everyone is calling them liars and attacking them.
well,
um
I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Let's
That's
let's
happening.
go. Let's do this. Let's do this in at 6:30.
6:30
An
Eastern
hour and a
time.
half. Yeah.
Okay, all
So
right,
let's. So
Okay,
that's almost an
the
hour from
chat.
now. I
all
mean,
right,
it's a little over an hour from now.
that's perfect.
And
I'm
what
gonna
I
set
can
it up.
do is I can come from the psychological part of lying and what the damage that abuse, especially childhood trauma and abuse, does to a person and to our community. That's what I can certainly point to, and also what happens um, to a person who has come forward with this type of abuse and is denied. I can come from a psychological part of that, for sure.
Okay.
That's exactly
And
what
I
we
mean,
need.
it's the story of my existence. I've been in the truth telling streets for 25 years, telling people who shot me, what happened, and people did not want to believe me for a whole multitude of reasons. People were paid off, people were manipulated, people have celebrity worship and they feel like there's adjacency to the celebrity if they believe anything they say. There was a multitude of reasons where people tried to disavow me, but I never allowed anyone to make me lose my fervor or my strength or my vigor. I kept going. And now God allowed me to, 25 years later, for a time such as this, to witness and continue to cry aloud and spare not. And I'm not going to stop. And even after I get my justice, I will still speak on behalf of other people. But that is exactly what my whole passion is: helping victims get their voice back, reclaiming their voice, their identity, their life, for more than just a news blurb about what happened to them, and moving forward to something positive. And that's the platform I offered. That's how I came to this. And I will never And like I said from the beginning of this video, I know they are victims. I know they are. What I'm
Nobody can tell me any different either.
anybody add anything. I don't want anybody making, something sound bigger than it is. I don't even address the trauma. I mean, not the trauma, but I don't address the details of what occurred. I strictly focus on who were you as a child? What did you want to be when you grew up? Who had a positive impact on your life? That's how I come at this thing. And I won't be mixed up into anything other than that. I won't. I won't allow it. I won't stand for it.
Well, we're going to get out of here.
Okay, God.
Megan, I'm going to set up the live.
You
It's
said
going
you're
to be
gonna.
on StreamYard. I'm going to send you a link.
Okay,
It's going to be on my channel. I'm going to hit you back, me, and I'm going to send you a few links so you can get just a little bit of background.
absolutely.
Okay, I
And
got another
everybody.
call. I'm gonna take this call, and
All right.
then I'll be ready at 6:30.
All right. Sounds great.
And guys,
Okay.
everybody on this.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I'll be over there.
Shout out to Dr. Megan McGlover. Love you. And I just wanted to stop by and I wanted to let you know what was happening, what
Thank
I
you.
was observing. And I just wanted to get in front of this because I already see it now. They're gearing up to attack these women, and I will not stand by and allow them to be re-victimized when I know it's all for nothing more than clicks, views, and just greed, pure greed.
Absolutely. So I'll be over there. And guys, everybody that's watching, Jaguar will be live at 6:30. We're going to go over there so we can participate in that. I love you,
And
sis.
I love you too. I just want to keep the ring of support that you've been creating for women. And it
Absolutely.
has nothing to do with Diddy. Forget
Yeah.
Diddy. This is about protecting women who have been hurt.
Yeah. Mhm.
Period. That's why we haven't talked about any of the details.
That's right.
Even when she tried to say something to me, I told her I didn't come here for that
You told me
because
redirect it.
that's not
Exactly.
what this is about.
Exactly. That's why I redirected. And some people are like, oh, why are you taking her off of telling her story? I'm like, I redirect people to positivity. That's what I do here. There's other channels where you can watch a train wreck. I'm not going to bring nobody here to make them look like that or allow anybody to enhance that. I want to see them as whole women, not just a blurb of what they endured. And so that's why I do what I do. But I love you, sis, and we'll be over there.
Love
And
you too. And
we're
for those who are asking, the name of my channel is the Jaguar Wright Effect. And sis, I'm gonna tag you in the post when I put everything up, and I'll text you the link.
all right. Thank you, baby. I
All right,
appreciate
absolutely. Love
you.
you, and Shabbat Shalom.
Okay. Absolutely. Shabbat. See, you see, guys, I stand on. Oh, I'm sorry. I got a couple of super chats, and I was trying to. I didn't want to cut. And when there are times where you will hear me redirect somebody or interrupt something, and when I do that, I'm doing that because I want them to stick to what we are here discussing. I know, I can feel before it comes out of their mouth. I keep telling y'all, I operate on energy vibrations. I can tell before they speak when they are redirecting themselves to something negative, and we're not here to do that. I want to say shout out to Miss Jack of Trades for the super chat. She says, hi, Natanya, I've been reaching out to you on DM. How can we get in touch for you to hear about my project? I absolutely saw your emails and your connections. I've seen them, and I will definitely get back in touch with you. It's just been a little active around here lately, but I will definitely get back in touch with you. And anybody who reaches out to me, absolutely trust I get your emails. I get all of that. But what I do is until God tells me to move, I don't move. Some people I've responded to immediately, and others I've waited because I always say to God, please allow me to speak from your mouth. Let the words from my mouth be of you and not me. I will continue to be a vessel. And so anytime, never feel like I'm ignoring you. It's not that. I am simply waiting on God to fill me with the proper words for you. That's it. That's it. A lot of times we live in a world, and y'all can see on YouTube, people get into things because of their ego. I'm not here centered or driven by ego at all. I don't need it. Really, I could stay in my house and I have tons of things to do. Trust me, my kids and everybody that knows me knows I love a project. I got lots of projects to do. I'm here because I'm called to speak. I'm called by God to help people get back to their center. Shout out to Anna Goto or Guto. I'm a Brazilian, and my basic English was able to understand that you were just polite enough to get back to the topic of the survivor. These disrespectful people are acting. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. I'm never trying to disavow anybody. I'm not trying to minimize anybody, and I'm not trying to control them because I don't believe in controlling. For those people who are new to me, let me tell you something. Anybody who knows me personally knows, and the people that come to my channel know, I don't even hit kids. My kids are 35, 32, and 17, and baby grew up without being hit. My philosophy is that when you step out of your front door, the world is going to hit you with all kinds of sucker punches and try to take you out. I will not strip your dignity. I will not strip your integrity from your body. I don't like hitting. I got in extra trouble when I was a kid because I used to tell my mother, why you got to hit me though? Just talk to me. I understand. That doesn't go over well in a house where people believe in punishment, and that was put into them. That's post-traumatic slave syndrome, hitting to control people. My philosophy on hitting is, if beatings truly work, you'd only need one. If you got 942 in your life, they don't work because there was a need for each additional one. They don't work. Like, we have to get out of this mentality. It is my sincere belief that people whip children because they lack the capacity to express their point of view in a succinct and whole manner and affect the change of that person. Because you pick and choose who you hit. You be mad at your boss, but you don't walk in there and whip your boss, boy. I ain't never seen nobody reach to their hip and slide their belt out and wail out on their boss because they don't like what they're doing. So this is controlled behavior. You pick and choose who you think you could do it to. You look for subordinates and you look for people to subjugate, and that's where you mete out your anger. But it's very controlled. So if you can control it with your boss and he call you all kind of disrespectful things, talk to you out your name and all type of stuff, and you continue going back to his job, you have the ability to leave that job and go find another, but you don't. You still 50 raising your hand asking if you could go to the bathroom. But your kids say one little thing, and the Bible says, out of the mouths of babes. A lot of times your kids are telling you things that can help you, and you so mad, whap, whap for everything. Why? Because you finally found somebody that you could bully? I don't believe in that. I come from a laissez-faire type of parenting. I express to my children that which I expect, which I require, what my expectations are. I clearly define boundaries to them. And then I release them to the world and let them be. You know why I trust my children in situations? I have friends be like, you let your kids go to the roller skating rink? You let your kids go to all these parties? You crazy, honey. No, honey, you crazy. I trust my kids because I trust myself and I raised them. So I know they good. Not the least of which is I talk to my kids. I've told y'all before, and perhaps this is something you guys could employ in your own life. Raising my kids, I did something called, we sat down and we did family forums every Thursday. We had a very casual dinner. It was informal, and we sat down, we did family forums. Family forums had some rules. No repercussions. Whatever they tell me, I deal with it. I walk them through it. We discuss it fully, the pros, the cons, the ups, the downs, the yes and no, whatever about it, but no repercussions, no punishment or anything. I wanted them to understand, if you want your children to trust you and trust adults, you have to be the first adult that they can trust. Kids are not perfect. They are going to make mistakes. There are going to be times where they do things that won't comport with your standards. But guess what? Their amygdala in their brain is not fully developed. Their prefrontal cortexes are not fully developed. They are still figuring it out and learning. And those concrete conditional permanence in your brain comes only through living, growing, and experience. You got to stop wanting to beat them and shut them down for everything. This is a favorite. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Go in the room and shut up. Don't talk. And a whipping. Why? What are you afraid of hearing from your kids from? They're your kids. They are a product of your own desire and your willingness to choose a mate to procreate. You mad at them? If you don't like what they say, and they're a reflection of you. So what is it that you hate? Your kid or yourself? Get into that. What is it that disturbs you so much about your kids talking? Do they sound like you? You hate the reflection of your own voice? People got to get these things together. Like, I can't tell you what to do. All I can do is share experiences and what works well for me. For me, I don't like lies. I don't like betrayal. I don't like nefarious actions. I don't like any of that. I like honesty. I like sincerity. I show contrition. If I do something and I find myself to have made a mistake, I am direct. There is nothing passive aggressive about me. I don't beat around the bush and all of that. I come directly and say, hey, listen, the thing I said the other day or what I did the other day, I stand corrected. It has come to my attention, blah, blah, blah. I stand corrected. My apologies. That's me every day, all day. A lot of people could take a page out of my book. A lot of y'all still around here passive aggressive. And here's the thing about passive aggressiveness. You get it so deep in your system, you don't recognize that you're doing it. Because I promise you, when you're on the phone with someone and you say, okay, well, I'm going to let you go. I know you're busy. That's passive aggressive. That's passive aggressiveness. If you want to go, what you have to say is, all right, honey, well, it was a great speaking to you. I enjoyed our conversation. I have some things I need to do. I'm going to go. When you still like, I'm going to let you go because I know you're busy, that's passive aggressive. You don't want to take responsibility for your desire to exit the conversation. Why? Recently, I had done a little gig work and I literally said to the person, oh, this is not for me. She was like, well, let me show you how to do so. I said, no, honey, I don't want to exhaust your resources. Don't tell me how to do it. I quit. I was like, I can't do this. This is not for me. And it's not that I'm not able. It was a totality of the experience and a whole lot of other things. I said, oh, no. She was like, girl, if I was you, I'd walk away and don't tell them nothing. I said, why? Why would I not tell them anything? I said, are you kidding? I'm confrontational. I am comfortable coming and saying, so darling, while I appreciate the opportunity, this is not for me. And here's why. And I'm always open to give suggestion. Perhaps if you blah, 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 it is my perception that this would be of greater benefit to your organization and it would enhance how people interact with you guys and fulfill their obligations to you. But as for me, no, thank you. I don't run and hide behind no bushes. I'm all the way grown. I keep telling y'all, I thought I was grown when I was a child. Ain't no way that I'm a grown woman and I'm going to act like a child. All of that, I'm going to let you go now. No. Try it in your own lives. Just say, hey, had a great conversation. Thank you for taking your time out. Hope the rest of your day is pleasant. I'm going to head out. The only time I would ever suggest for someone to hold it down is if it is a woman or a man in an intimate partner relationship or any situation where you deem the honesty will bring harm to you. Like if you need to leave a relationship, quiet quit. Yeah, you could be on some, you know what? I'm getting ready to go to the mall, the store, something I'm picking, and make sure you got your escape bag and you get to step in. I don't advise you to go in somebody's face and be like, sucker, I don't need you. I'm leaving and I'm dumping you and I got somebody. Don't do that, because people who do that end up on these little YouTube thumbnails. Woman unalived. Man felt like he had nothing left. Don't do that. Crazy, don't give crazy an excuse to crazy out. Don't give crazy an excuse to crash out. That is my suggestion. That is the only time I will say it is okay to not be upfront about your intention in that very moment. Get yourself far from the person, get away, preserve your safety, and then exit stage left. Don't be in people's face and trying to emasculate somebody and make a mockery out of them, because that brings about your injury. And why would you want that? Why? Consider how you interact with your children. Take a look at yourself. Take a look at yourself, how you interact with the world. If you're comfortable and casual with lying, that's what you're going to end up receiving back from the world. If you're comfortable, always passive aggressive, and that's what you're going to end up with. I don't extend my platform for any foolishness. I don't extend my platform for anything nefarious. I do not extend my platform for anything that is shady. I'm not going to sit here and endorse anything that's impure and not of God. If I think it's not of God, I'm sorry. I cannot indulge with you. I cannot. I know what's out in these streets. I know what's out in this world. I do. And most of us do. Some may not, but that's why we have these kind of content creation platforms where you can interact with people from different walks of life that know a thing that you don't know, and they can interact with you. Get in the chat, make some friends, make some new acquaintances. Shout out to Anna GoTo. Jag is absolutely right. Thank you for the super chat. Make some acquaintances. Meet a few people that you wouldn't typically meet in your life. Expand your horizons. Expand your purview of life. A lot of times as people get stuck in situations and states of mind because you haven't expanded your horizons. And then always keep in mind that there are some people invested in you not having something, not advancing your life, not having progress, not moving forward. There are people in your lives who are sent to be a dissenting point of view. Open your eyes and notice that. If every time something good happens to you and you're sharing it with your peer group or your social group, you're like, oh, guess what? I got a promotion today. I'm so excited. And they just like, you better pay attention to that. It don't take 2 and 3 times for you to realize people will tell you who they are. Believe them the first time. Believe them. Absolutely. I understand wholeheartedly that YouTube can be a muddy swamp and just social media in general. Quentin Rowland said, Natanya, speak your truth. Just speak your truth because YouTube is a terrible place. It can be very redeeming. There can be thank you so much. There can be a lot of positivity. That is why I was struggling to breathe. And I said that wholeheartedly. God stepped in. My grandmother presented herself and God stepped in and told me, hold on. He was swelling this thing up and I couldn't even control myself. My daughter had to save me. When I got up, I literally felt like, whoa, I don't know what is happening, but I don't know that let me get up. Whatever was going to happen to me, I didn't want it to be on live. My desire to preserve my own dignity. I didn't want it to be on live. And I needed help. I ran to my daughter. God blesses us with children to be a blessing. Imagine that I've been here by myself. What would I have done? What would I have done? So let's stop disavowing those that God has sent to us to be a blessing. And anyone who is, unsure of what I'm saying, anyone who's unsure of what I'm saying, look in the description. You will see what I said. I believe wholeheartedly that these women were victims and victimized. And at some of these things, these situations where the victimization took place, I believe it. However, I believe that there are nefarious actors in play and encouraging them to make their story bigger and add things to the diatribe that are not necessary. And I don't endorse that. I will not support that. I won't support lies. I don't care who it's from. Listen, I love my family, but if I catch one of them lying for something, you best believe I'm going to confront it. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. First of all, don't tell me you can't possibly see. Okay, let me put you on the screen because this is how I handle people. Y'all know me. I don't play the game of passive aggressiveness. Lola Jackson says, I just started watching you. If you allow Jag to keep coming on your channel, taking over, I know God the Father is not with you and you have no discernment. You think somebody could take over me? Let me tell you something, boo. See, I remind people all the time. I am a spiritual woman. I am a woman of God. My spiritual relationship is deep with God. But baby, let me inform you and anyone else who thinks they know me. The flesh me, I don't play that. Nobody can't take over me or run me. Maybe in your life, somebody could run you, but can't nobody run me. My mama can't run me, okay? And I'm going to bring my mother on live so she can inform you guys. She's been trying for 54 years. My mama can't run me. Don't get here and think you can tell me foolishness and cast aspersions about me. I am a woman of God and I stand 10 toes down. Can't nobody make me do nothing. Nothing. Who I choose to give a platform to, I choose. And outside of what you know or understand, I have conversations with Jag offline. Okay? We have conversations offline. So never in your million years think that somebody could make me do anything. Nobody. I keep telling y'all, you new here, go watch my other videos. I say all the time, when I was a child, most of why I got in trouble was for telling my mother, no, I'm grown. Not with disrespect. I have never felt like a child. I felt like an adult in a little body. And my mind always say, you're not a kid. What are these people? Why are they? And I'll be like, why do you think you can tell me what to do? I'm grown. I could be 13 and saying that. My mother was like, you are insane. You are not grown. I always felt grown. So don't you dare accuse a 54-year-old grown woman who is 10 toes down of anybody running me. Nobody runs me, okay? You get that through your head. And perhaps because this is not the train wreck that you're looking for, go that way. See yourself down YouTube streets and go find the train wreck you're looking for. You don't find that here. I'm a woman of God. I'm a woman of God. I step by what God tells me, and I chill based on what God tells me. You don't run nothing. You ain't coming up in my house telling me nothing. I tell my mods, when people get spicy in the comment, let them be. I ain't scared of no spicy. If I was one of those people that you're talking about, I would be like, take any comment that doesn't agree with me out. There's lots of channels that do that. You'll never find that here because I ain't scared of your little words. Your words mean zero zilch when you're trying to cast aspersions. Nothing. There's enough negativity in this world. I operate from a vein of positivity. If this makes you discomforted or disquieted in your countenance and your spirit, vamos, kick rocks, and good luck on your journey down the YouTube highway. You ain't got to be here. I'm tired of that. I'm not going to tolerate none of those. I don't care what anybody thinks. When it's time for my recompense, my to make an accounting and be before God, trust and believe. I'm ready for it. Like I told you before, God, I'm not in a hurry. I love you. I know you. I don't want to come in a hurry. But when that day of reckoning comes, I will be ready. Perhaps you need to spend some time getting yourself ready for your day of reckoning, because God is going to question you about that little comment you made and all your other indiscretions. You ready to face God? Remember, that elevator go up and down, boo. Sitting here telling me what I need to do. I have full discernment. How dare you speak on my personal relationship with God? What is your personal relationship with God? You better get you a Swiffer and dust out all them cobwebs in your relationship with God. I ain't got no cobwebs in mine, baby. I keep it clear. And I know what I know, and I know what God told me. The audacity, you came in here and spoke on my relationship with God. Now, if I was a petty person, I would tell my mods to put you out. But I don't want you to be put out. I want you to stay and get some of this grace on you. Audacity. Audacity. The audacity to come telling me about my relationship with God. How dare you? Guys, I'm not going to keep you guys long. Like I said, it's a Saturday. It's a day that many of us spend with our families. It is the Sabbath. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend a little time here with me, and I appreciate it. I felt it was my duty as a spiritual woman of God to come forth and reveal what God said to me, to check back in with y'all, because so many of y'all were concerned. I was concerned. My family was concerned. My family watches this. They were concerned. My friends were concerned. People were calling me all night to make sure that I was okay, because they never saw that out of me. And so I could have come back yesterday. I think yesterday and the day before, time drifted. However, I did not, because God said, peace, be still. And so many of you supporting came and said, hey, make this Natanya Day. Do your self-care, sis. Relax. Absolutely. Shout out to Anna Goto for the super chat. There are other channels. Yes, there are other channels trying to revictimize survivors in order to make money. Thank you. And they're jealous of the light of Natanya's work. Listen, thank you so much, Anna. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I come here with a pure intent. I'm not here for no malicious thing. Remember, I am a victim too. I am not here for the gaslight. I'm not here for the, this, that, and the third and all the extra stuff. I'm not here for none of that. I am a victim. I spent 25 years with people casting aspersions on me. So I would never cast aspersion on anyone else, especially not someone who was a victim. However, I must say what it is that God puts in my spirit and puts on me to say. I must say it. I cannot. I don't fake, I don't two-step, and I don't, I don't know if you could use that other word, but I don't play. I don't play. I see somebody say, where can we watch it? Jag is the Jaguar Wright effect. And here's the thing. If nothing else, I want people who are victims, if you feel like you are being manipulated and people are taking you for granted and taking advantage of you, then you need to sit quiet. You need to sit quiet. You need to sit, peace, be still. You need to get out of the fray and out of the way. For me, I on my channel am here to give people light, to help you on your journey, to bring faith into your life, to help you build up your faith walk, to share my story with you, to empower you that no matter, delayed does not mean denied. Listen, my justice has been delayed 25 years. And I think I'm going to plan like a big show for my 25th anniversary. December 27th is my 25th anniversary of surviving what I endured, being shot in the face by Puffy. A lot of people that come to my channel don't know. Somebody was like, who's this narrator chick that's talking, doing all the talking? Be quiet, let the victim speak. I am the victim, boo. 25 years ago, Puffy shot me in my face in Club New York, December 27th, 1999. I'm not some narrator, some channel content. I am the original victim. Had anybody listened to me 25 years ago, none of these people would exist. And yet I didn't strike her comment. I let her raggedy comment sit because I want people to be aware of what negativity looks like. The narrator. Really? So you don't know who I am. You came here looking for a train wreck, and when you didn't get a train wreck, you got mad. You was like, when they gonna tell all the juicy stuff and the salacious? I don't do gossip here. I don't do gossip. I'm 54. Y'all, I look at my analytics. Many of y'all is in my age demographic. What do you want to hear gossip for? I know you come here for something different. There's plenty of places on YouTube where you could go find the tea. There's places and channels called The Tea. There's places that have openers like, I'm going to give you the tea. And I'm not even disparaging them. They have a right to their say. That's just not what we do here. You can have balance in your life. You can get the tea and you can, you can watch Housewives of whatever zip code it is now and a documentary that educates you on, neurological impairments. You can have both. Why are you a one-track pony? One-trick pony. Stop doing just one thing. We can have diversity and a multitude of interests. But if anybody's looking for that, they'll never find it here. They will never find it here. That's not what I'm doing. I got a bunch of videos. You won't find it here. One video, I could say I was a little froggy, and justifiably so. And I even said it. Listen, y'all, I'm a little froggy. A couple of times some people put some stuff in the comment, and I was like, what you? And I was like, oh, I read it again. I gave grace, and I said, oh, well, okay, sorry. I feel a little froggy, guys. Let me chill. You'll see me say that. I'm not afraid to apologize. I'm not afraid to stand corrected. Perhaps some people need to try that out. I know some of y'all walk around here ain't been wrong about nothing since 82. But don't realize the people in your life are annoyed and sick of you because you can never show contrition. You can never apologize. You can never be wrong. You got to be right about everything. No, you're not always right. And sometimes the hardest person that it is for you to hear truth from is the sandpaper. God told me this one day. I had to be back in 2002. God will send you the sandpaper to smooth your rough edges. It's usually in the form of somebody in your inner circle. It's the person you get the most annoyed with when they tell you something. You know why? Because you can't stand to hear the truth. Chill out. Listen to them. Sandpaper is a vital thing. And it comes in a multitude of grits. Sandpaper can come, the lower the number, the thicker the grit. I do projects. I reupholster furniture. I do woodwork. The thicker the grit, the lower the number, the thicker the grit of the sandpaper. The higher the number, the finer the grit. You get so fine where you're just buffing that piece of wood out. You're just smoothing it out. Any imperfections, any little ripples, you're just smoothing it out. Sometimes let those low numbers into your life. They might be hard sandpaper, but baby, they came to smooth your rough edges, to refine you so you can get to a place where you just need a light buff from time to time. There's nothing wrong with that. But for those of you who are in your feelings and you know everything and you can't stand to be wrong, that means you're still miles and miles away from your healing because you refuse to hear somebody give you a word of correction. Reality lies in perception. You perceive the truth based on what your experience is. And stop it with the notion that if I'm right, you're wrong. No, both can be right. Both can have differing sets of opinions and both be right. You could look up and say, the sky is blue. Somebody else will look up and say, the sky is periwinkle. Guess what? They're all shades of blue, the blue family. You could say blue and see powder blue. Somebody else could say blue and see navy. Somebody else sees blue and they see royal. Are they not all blues? Are these people not all right that their blue is still blue? Like, chill out a little. Some of y'all got a chip on your shoulder a mile wide, and you can't hear truth if it jumped up and slapped you in your face. You couldn't receive it. I just want y'all to get into this. Like, we got to change what we're doing. We have been manipulated by the masses. We have been all. I don't care if you red, purple, pink with polka dots. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, whatever. I don't care what your race is. Guess what? We have all been manipulated by them elites. You know, the same ones that's holding the children? We've been manipulated all this time. A time such as this has come where you can all unify together. It's in Revelations. They said there will come a time where people of all nations will be able to speak in real time as one. Is that not what we're doing here on YouTube? Do you see this platform could be used for negativity and bad? It can be used for tea and juice and all that. And it can also be used for positivity. I choose to pick positivity. I choose to exist in positivity. I thank God for all of you that come here that also agree to use this for positivity. I thank God for you. I appreciate you. And this is what, yes, he is suspicious. Maddie Denny, you're 100% right. And I literally, absolutely. And listen, two things can be true simultaneously. You can send someone love and wish them well in their healing and still have apprehension. You're human. That's just how it is. We are humans. And some of us are jaded for a multitude of reasons. I still err on the side of, I'm going to give people grace and mercy. But when God tells me something, I have to say, the only thing I'm saying is, I don't want anybody to think they're coming to use me, to manipulate me, or I don't want anybody to come and think that they're going to add words. The truth doesn't need a kickstand. You ain't got to add nothing to the truth. It's not Kool-Aid. You ain't got to add a cup of sugar to make it sweet. I want my truth exactly the way it is, organic. Give it to me the real way. Once you start adding 2 and 3 and 4 things, then we got a problem. When I open myself up to you, only speak facts and truth to me. Do not come with that, because guess what? The spirit of discernment is going to rat you out. The spirit of discernment is going to rat you out. And that's just what it is. I'm not going to keep you guys long. I'm just going to go through some of the chats again. Thank you all. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And like I said, I'm better. What you watched was God operating in real time. In real time. You don't know I come up here and talk, laugh, make my jokes, kiki with you and all that stuff, bring light and everything. You have never seen me go through that before. You've never seen me go through that before. I was confronted on this camera with what was happening, and God was not pleased, and he extracted me. I couldn't even sit for another minute. Not the least of which is when Chessa came to pray. Baby, a prayer will cast out all type of things that's wrong. That prayer will cast out all type of things. And when confronted with the word, God will raise himself up in your spirit. And that's exactly what happened. I don't need some Johnny come lately coming here telling me if you believe this, that, then I know you're not a woman of God. Who is you? God, let me tell you something about me. I keep telling people, don't waste your time trying to do me harm. I've watched God slap many people down in real time. The word says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet no harm. If you come here to think you're going to do me some harm, baby, I promise you, you won't make it to the corner. You won't make it to the corner. I done seen people, slap people down in real time for even attempting to try me. So proceed with caution. Keep telling people, I don't know why people waste their time trying to come. And you can't bully me. I'm an old Tegareg scrapper from Brooklyn. There was a time where I was very defensive in my life because people thought they were going to gaslight me and always try to trigger me. And I could walk into a room and I trusted my gut and I didn't even know I had, well, my grandmother told me I had a gift, but I didn't understand my gift to that degree. But I knew when I walked in a room, I could tell what energy was in the room. I could feel the sentiment in the room, and I could 100% know. You could tell me something out your mouth and God would be like, she a liar. Don't believe that. Absolutely. Absolutely. You could try to get over on me, but you cannot. Absolutely. As long as God is the center of my life, nobody can discredit me because I affiliate with somebody. If you really know the word, you'll know that Jesus walked with sinners. Jesus walked with women of ill repute and all types of stuff. And he didn't reject them. Remember the woman with the issue of blood. Remember the woman with the issue of blood? Baby, she was like, people wanted to touch Jesus because they felt like touching him would give them an anointing and stuff like this. She was like, I don't even find myself to be worthy to touch him. I just want to touch the hem of his garment. The hem of his garment. That's equivalent to somebody walking up and touching the hem of your pants leg. And she was healed instantly. When she touched the hem of his garment, Jesus stopped and said, who was that touched me? And a whole bunch of people had just touched him. Yeshua said, who touched me? And people were like, hi. And he said, no, who just touched me? And she said, it was I. She was ashamed. I'm sorry. And he healed her. There was lots of people there with far lesser concerns. So while you sit here thinking you know something, I don't have a problem walking with scoundrels, scallywags, or whatever, because I know my light will fall onto them. And as long as they're willing to receive and their true intent is to be pure of heart, they will get the grace and mercy and the blessing that's coming to them. So you keep walking with the fancy high society people. As the world illustrates right now, as this case illustrates, those what you consider fancy, above reproach, high society ones is the ones doing the most dirt in the world. Get your life, boo. Get your whole entire life and thought process. Because you think you know, but you have no idea. I still extend grace to you. I still welcome you here because you're going to get right. Come in here trying to criticize. Don't ever disrespect somebody by interacting with their personal relationship with God. You overstepped your boundaries in a nasty way. A whole nasty way. If you really know the word, you wouldn't even said nothing like that. Yeshua walked with people, prostitutes and thieves and all kinds of people. Who do you think you are? That's how I know you ain't got no discernment or no walk with God. And nobody can stop me from talking about Gene Deal. I don't like Gene Deal. I don't like him. I think he's a liar. 2 truths and 7 lies. And I still got enough grace to say 2 truths. Most people that hate somebody don't say nothing positive about them. I give him his 2 truths, but 7 lies is coming with it. So nobody can tell me nothing. Nobody can make me not talk about Gene. I don't like him. Nobody can make me do nothing. I keep telling y'all, my mama been trying for 54 years and it ain't work. I have fear, level, reverence, and respect for my mother. And when she tells me to do certain things, I do it. But at other times, if it's something that is completely and vehemently against what I think, believe in, you can't move me. You can't. And I'm telling you what TI is. Thank you to Anna again for the super chat. Did it pop up? Why is it not coming up? I'm not exactly sure why. What's happening to my thing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Thank you for the super chat, and I appreciate you. And I keep telling y'all, like, I'm always going to speak truth and I'm going to move according to it. What happened to my whole comments disappeared? Okay. What going on? What going on? The enemy's in here? Let's see. That was odd. My whole comment section disappeared. Okay. Well, listen, we rebuke that in the name of the Most High God. We rebuke that in the name of God the Father and Yeshua, the Christ. We rebuke it. The blood of Yeshua of Nazareth over us. Oh, they got a problem, honey. They done took away all my comments. You see, that's exactly what I'm telling y'all in real time. That's why I'm always fighting against evil and nefarious actors. When you fight against evil, baby, they come for you. All of my comments are gone. It looks like the live ended. They ended the live. It's not moving. And so whatever caused that, I'm going to end it too. I will see you guys in the chat. Thank you for coming and spending your time here with me.